Good morning, students. And in the previous class, we have studied among the four civilizations. We have studied here Indus Valley civilization and Egyptian civilization, and also Mesopotamian civilization. And the earlier class in the ancient civilization of the India. So we have already studied Indus Valley civilization. So in the previous class, in nothing but last class, so we have studied about Egyptian civilization and Mesopotamian civilizations. And we have already known that two civilizations also originated in the river valleys. Called here Egypt civilization originated in the Nile Valley, and afterwards Mesopotamian civilization originated in the rivers called here Euphrates and afterwards Tigris. And also many of the contributions of the Mesopotamian civilizations and afterwards Egypt civilizations we have studied in the earlier class, and the rulers who ruled the two civilizations and afterwards the two places called here Egypt and afterwards Mesopotamia, that also we have studied in the earlier class. And in this class we are going to study the one more civilization, which is called here Chinese civilization. Okay, the ancient civilizations, civilization of the world. So I have already told here the four civilizations took part importance in the ancient civilizations of the world, called Egypt civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, and finally here Chinese civilization. And we have already studied about three civilizations in the earlier class. See, in today's class we are going to learn about one more civilization, that is Chinese civilization. And this civilization is also originated in the river valley called here Wangpo. Wangpo. It is also originated in the valley called here Wangpo Valley here. Okay, which civilization called here Chinese civilization also originated the river valley called here Wangpo here. Okay, and here Wangpo is a Mandarin word. It is a Mandarin word here. Which one? Wangpo is the Mandarin word. What is the meaning of that? Wang means nothing but here yellow. What is the meaning of that? Means yellow. It is derived from the Mandarin word. Wangpo derived from the Mandarin word. Okay. What is the meaning of that? Means nothing but yellow here. Okay. What is the meaning of the Wang? Means nothing but yellow here. And also this Wangpo river is also called the symbol of sorrow here. It is also called symbol of sorrow. So which is called the symbol of sorrow means nothing but Wangpo river is also called here symbol of sorrow here. Then why did we call here it is a symbol of sorrow? So there is a reason behind to call symbol of a sorrow. So why means nothing but say after the floods, here, this river changes its course. It means nothing but directions. The river changed its course or direction, and it caused for the destruction of the houses. Caused for the destruction of the houses and agricultural land. Here. See here, it changes after the flood here. It changed its course or direction, and it caused for the destruction of the many of the houses and afterwards many of the agricultural land. So because of these two reasons here, it is called as symbol of a sorrow here. So which is called symbol of sorrow means nothing but Bango river is called a symbol of sorrow. Why means nothing but after the floods, it caused for the destruction of the, it changed its direction and caused for the destruction of many of the houses and also cultural lands here. Okay, so because of that reason we called it symbol of sorrow here. And so like Mesopotamia and afterwards Egypt, here in this civilization also the many of the dynasties ruled this civilization also here. Okay, China, ancient China. See, the ancient China was also ruled by the many of the dynasties here. Okay, like Mesopotamia and Egypt. So, which of the dynasties, major dynasties, ruled the ancient China means nothing but here. One is Shang dynasty. Which one is that? One is Shang dynasty, and another one is here Zhou dynasty. Okay. So major major dynasties which ruled the ancient China here. One is Shang dynasty, another one is Zhou dynasty. See, Shang dynasty, they ruled from 18th century to 12th century. They ruled ancient China from 18th to 12th century here. Okay, so after that here, this Shang dynasty was overpowered. The Shang dynasty was overpowered by whom here? Zhou dynasty here. So this Shang dynasty was overpowered by Zhou dynasty. But this dynasty is also, they continued their rule and also they continued the traditions of the, what here? They also continued the traditions of the Shang dynasty. They also continued the traditions of the Shang dynasty here. Who? Zhou dynasty. They overpowered overpowered the Shang dynasty, and also they continued their rule and they continued the traditions of the even Shang dynasty also, and they continued their rule till 250 BCE. See, until 250 BCE, the Zhou dynasty continued its rule here. Okay, and these are the major dynasties ruled the ancient China. And when we come to the social system of the ancient China here, so the social hierarchy of the Zhou dynasty. So during the period, during the Zhou dynasty's period here, so we were seeing the social hierarchy. It means nothing but they have given places to the some important persons here. It means nothing but first they gave position to the kings. In the social system of the Zhou dynasty, we were seeing whom here beginning the kings form the first place here. See, after the kings here, the government officials comes after the kings here, and after the government officials, who place in third is nothing but merchants, craftsmen and peasants. See, these merchants, craftsmen and peasants, they come here after the government officials here. Then who forms first means nothing but here kings here, the social hierarchy. Who comes in first means nothing but kings. So later government officials. After that here merchants, craftsmen and peasants. Peasants means nothing but here farmers. See, after these merchants here, who form the fourth place means nothing but slaves. Who comes in the fourth place means nothing but slaves. The slaves, they were the prisoners of the wars. They were the prisoners of who were the prisoners of the war means nothing but the slaves were the prisoners of the wars. So this is the social hierarchy of Shao dynasty here. Okay. So they have formed the social system. See here, in the social system, who comes first means nothing but kings. So later, government officials, and later here merchants, craftsmen, and peasants will form the third one. And who comes at last means nothing but here slaves. They were the prisoners of the war here. Okay. And also one of the great contribution of this China means nothing but here in this civilization. What we are going to see is nothing but one more greater contribution, that is the Great Wall of China here. Okay, we have already known about the Great Wall of China. We have already studied about this Great Wall of China in the earlier classes also here, and it is also one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world here. Okay, it is also one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Which one? The Great Wall of China here. See, it stretched more than how many kilometers means nothing but 5,000 kilometers here. So it stretched to more than 5,000 kilometers. Telling here more than, not exactly 5,000 kilometers here. It's more than, it stretched more than 5,000 kilometers. Okay. And also it was constructed by whom means nothing but here Qin Shi Huangdi. Qin Shi Huangdi, okay, constructed this Great Wall of China here. So when they started to build, this Great Wall of China means nothing but they started in the 7th century. They started in the 7th century BCE, and they continued till 16th century CE, in the 60th century CE. It means nothing but they started to construct this Great Wall of China when means in the 7th century BCE, and it continued till the 16th century CE. Until that, okay, it continued. What? The construction of the Great Wall of China here. Okay. And also, see, he ordered, who ordered here? Qin Shi Huangdi. He also ordered that here, what the walls of the northern Chinese, walls here, what here? The walls of the northern Chinese to be connected here. So, who ordered that one means nothing but Qin Shi Huangdi ordered here, it should be connected. Where means nothing but the northern Chinese also here. So, northern northern Chinese states also should be connected here. So why means nothing but here. So this enabled what means nothing but northern walls. This enabled the northern walls to ward off the attacks of invaders. To ward off the attacks of the invaders from the north. So from the north here. So that's why he ordered to it should be connected to the northern Chinese states here. Okay. And also the military power of the Chinese civilization. When we come to the military powers of the Chinese civilization, here in this part the soldiers took a great position or dignified position in the society. When we come to the military part of the Chinese civilizations here, so in this military part of the Chinese civilizations, they gave most important position to the soldiers here. So they got a very dignified place in the society. Who got the dignified position in the society means nothing but the soldiers got. And also they wore what means nothing but they wore bronze helmets. The soldiers wore here bronze helmets and also metal armors. See, the soldiers wore what here? Bronze helmets. See, bronze helmets and metal what here? Armors. They wore bronze helmets and metal armors. And also they were using what means nothing but they were using bronze daggers. They were using bronze daggers, axes, bows, and iron tipped arrows. Okay, and also the soldiers were using here, what they were using is bronze daggers they were using, and axes they were using, and bows they were using, and also they were using here iron tipped arrows. So like this here, the soldiers got very dignified position in the society of the Chinese civilizations here. Okay, and also they are famous for the occupations also here. It means they engaged means nothing but the people of the Shang dynasty. See, occupation. When you come to the occupation of the Chinese civilizations here, the people of the who here Shang dynasty. See, the people of the Shang dynasty, they highly depended on which occupation is nothing but that is agriculture. They highly depended on the occupation called here agriculture here. Okay, so they have also depended on the agriculture. Who? The people of the Shang dynasty, they have depended on agriculture here. And also they grew the plenty of rice. Okay, they have depended on the agriculture and they grew plenty of the rice also here. Okay, and apart from the agriculture, they also what grew cotton also. They also grew cotton. So apart from the agriculture, so they also grew cotton, and afterwards here, and Chinese used to wear. So they know they grew the cotton, and also Chinese used to wear here what thin cotton dresses also. They were also using here. They were also wearing the thin cotton dresses because they know they grew cotton also now. See, apart from the rice, apart from the growing the rice here, they also grew here what cotton, and also they used to wear here the thin cotton dresses also here. And apart from the this growing of the rice and afterwards cotton, so they also engaged in silkworm rearing here. Silkworm rearing. See, they also engaged in silkworm rearing. See, apart from growing the rice, cotton, so with that they also engaged in what means nothing but silkworm rearing, and they were the first one who were here. The Chinese were the first one to introduce the silk to the world here. They were the first one to introduce the silk to the world. Who were the first ones means nothing but the people of the Shang dynasty. It means nothing but Chinese were the first one to introduce this silk to the world here. Okay, and also Chinese were doing the ancestor worships also here. They were also doing the ancestors worship. So like how they in the Egyptian civilization, I have already told here, they have also believed the life after the death here. So like that, the Chinese also worshipped their ancestors. They have also worshipped the ancestors. They also believed in the ancestor worship. They also believed in ancestor worship. Okay, it means that it is a very important part. It is a very important part of the ancient Chinese society here. So which one? Ancestor worship is also, it is a very important part of the ancient Chinese society here. So how means nothing but, so when someone dies, so when someone dies here, the ancient Chinese believed, they believed that here their spirit lived on. Okay, who dies here, their spirit lived on the afterward here, on the afterward. So what they believed means that this ancient Chinese means nothing but if someone dies means nothing but their spirit lived on. Their spirit lived on and in the afterwards here. Okay, so they believed in that thing, and also they believed their ancestors had magical powers. Also they believed that they had what here, they had magical powers. Then who believed in nothing but the Chinese, ancient Chinese believed that their ancestors had what powers means nothing but they had the magical powers here, magical powers which could help them. So which could punish them, which could punish them or help them, which could help them or which could punish them. See, which one is nothing but the ancestors had, they believed that the ancestors had magical powers which could punish them, which magical powers could punish them, and also it could help them to make the wise decisions also, to help them to make what here, help them to make wise decisions also here. Okay, to make wise decisions. So what could help them to make wise decisions means nothing but the ancestors' magical powers could help them to make wise decisions. Then who believed that one means nothing but the Chinese, okay, ancient Chinese believed their ancestors' magical powers also. See, and also to their ancestors, to make to keep their ancestors happy here, to keep their ancestors happy, they brought gifts of food also. They brought what here? They brought gifts of food and also wine, food and wine to special places or temples here. So why did they bring this gift of food or food and wine to the special places or temples means nothing but to keep their ancestors happy here. To keep their ancestors happy, they brought what here? They brought gifts of food and wine to where means nothing but to the special places or temples. To the special places or temples, what did they bring here? They brought gifts of food and wine. Why means nothing but to keep their ancestors happy here. Okay. And also they held many celebrations also here. And also they have held many celebrations. They also held here many celebrations. So why they held many celebrations is nothing but here to honor their ancestors here. To honor their ancestors, they held many of the celebrations also here. Who means nothing but the ancient Chinese also held many of the celebrations. Why means nothing but to honor their ancestors here. Why means nothing but to honor their ancestors. And also they believed that, and also with that they believed that here it was their custom. They also believed that it was their custom to what? Worship their ancestors. And also they believed it was their custom. It was their custom to worship. Custom to worship their ancestors here. So with these beliefs, they have also believed that it was their custom. Custom is nothing but it was their tradition. Okay, it was their custom or tradition to what here? To worship their ancestors also here. So like this, they worshipped their ancestors also here. Okay, they believed how the Egyptians believed life after death here. Like Chinese also believed what here? The ancestors worship here. They think here after the, if someone dies here, he lived on, this spirit lived on and lived on the where? On the next, after the world. His spirit lived on after the world here. And also they believed that their ancestors had the magical powers also, and which could help them and also which could punish them here. And afterwards they also to keep their ancestors happy here, they brought what means nothing but gifts of food and wine to the places, special places or temples here. And also they held many of the celebrations also. Why means nothing but to honor their ancestors. So with this also they believed that here it was their custom or it was their tradition to what here worship their ancestors here. Okay. So one more thing that is porcelain. So they have believed that it is believed that porcelain also originated. Porcelain also originated in China. Porcelain. Okay. Porcelain is nothing but pots. We call here pots here. So it is believed that this porcelain also originated in the China here. Okay. And here on this porcelain pots and also semi-porcelain objects were also used. Were also in use from the 1600 BC. Which one? Semi-porcelain. Semi-porcelain were also in use. Okay, from 1600 BC. From 1600 BC, what were in use means nothing but here semi-porcelain. Semi-porcelains were also in use. When means nothing but from 1600 BC. See, by the time of the Han Dynasty. So, by the time of the Han Dynasty, which was in the 200 BCE. It was in 200 BCE. Which one? Han Dynasty. It means nothing but after the Zhou Dynasty, after the first Shang Dynasty and Zhou Dynasty. Under that year Han Dynasty. It was existed in the year 200 BC. Which one? Han Dynasty. See, by the time of the Han Dynasty here, see the glazed porcelain. Which one? Glazed porcelain had been developed here. So when means during the period of Han Dynasty. So what has been developed means nothing but here glazed porcelain. Glazed porcelain has been developed. When means nothing but during the time of Han Dynasty. Okay. And also the ancient Chinese used to bury their dead. They used to bury their dead with the along with the porcelain pots also. So they used to bury their dead. Who? The Chinese used to bury their dead along with the along with the porcelain pots also here. So along with the porcelain pots. Okay. Porcelain pots. Okay. And these are the highlights of the Chinese civilization. See, what did we learn in the Chinese civilization is nothing but, see, it is also originated in the river called here Wangu Valley here, and that Wangu Valley is also called here symbol of a sap. Why is nothing but this after the floods here it caused for the many of the destruction of the houses and agricultural land. Because of that reason it was called symbol of the Saro here, and many of the dynasties called here Shang Dynasty and Zhou Dynasty, and later Han Dynasty also ruled ancient China here. And their contributions, when we come to the contribution of the Chinese civilizations, means during the Chinese civilizations, the Great Wall of China, it was constructed by the Qin Shi Huangdi here. Okay, during the period of it started in the 7th century and ended in the till 16th century CE. It was continued. About construction was continued here. Okay. And also, when we come to the military part of the Chinese civilization, the soldiers got dignified position in the society. And when we come to the occupation of the Chinese civilization, here they were engaged in the occupation, what occupation called here agriculture, and they have grown rice and also cotton, and also they engaged in a silkworm rearing also. And also they also believed in ancestors worship, like Egyptians, how they believed in the life after the death here. So like that here Chinese also believed in the ancestors worship also here. And also we believed that the porcelain is also originated in the China. So these were the highlights of the ancient civilization. Okay, so until here, in this class and in the previous class, we have studied about the ancient civilizations of the world. So the four ancient civilizations of the world called here Chinese civilization, Egypt civilization, Indus Valley civilization, and Mesopotamian civilizations here. So in detail, we have studied all these four civilizations in this class, and also in the previous class we have studied about these civilizations here. Okay, hope you all understood these ancient civilizations of the world here. Okay, and maps of these civilizations, and afterwards some of the contributions of these civilizations. So if you see in the textbook, pictures in the textbook means you will understand that ziguras and pyramids, okay, hanging gardens, so that on Great Wall of China. So everything they have given in the textbook here. If you see the pictures of the textbook, you will understand the constructions and all those things here. Okay, go through this lesson again and again until you understand and do well in your exams. Okay, thank you.